Are you obsessed with Los Angeles? Head over heels in love with the City of Angels? Well, this is the podcast for you. At LifeHacksLA, we hack the best in arts, eats, and activities in Los Angeles. So join us and become an LA hacker. Baby, baby. Hey, what's going on, LA hackers? This is your host, Stefan, and this is episode number 58 of the LifeHacksLA Podcast. My guest today is Michael Hunter, and as you will hear in this interview, Michael loves to have fun, spread positive vibes, and just make people happy. So much so that his business is actually dedicated to just that, having fun and making people happy. He owns, along with some of his business partners, maybe the most unique tour guide business in all of Los Angeles. It's called Sunny Day Scoot. And Sunny Day Scoot involves these tiny little two-seater motorized cars that almost look like something that came out of a cartoon, but they actually go out there on the real Los Angeles roads with other cars. And this activity does not just involve the fun novelty of riding in these scooters. The tour itself is actually one of the best you will find in the city, and you will see and learn more about some incredible LA landmarks in this tour. All right, guys, and after the interview, make sure you stay tuned to the end of the episode because I'll be sharing my own special secret hack for playing a tourist in your own city that you're going to want to listen to. Okay, enjoy this interview with Michael Hunter from Sunny Day Scoot LA, and I'll talk to you again soon. Hey, what's going on, LA hackers? Welcome to another episode. Our guest today is Michael Hunter from Sunny Day Scoot. How are you doing today, Michael?
I'm well, Stefan. How are you?
I'm doing perfect, my friend, and I'm very excited to find out more about Sunny Day Scoot. It's one of those things I've heard about for a long time, based here in Los Angeles. But before we get into that, I wanted to ask a little bit about you. Where are you from originally, and how did you make your way to Los Angeles?
Well, first off, I do want to thank you for the opportunity. I love the podcast, the Life Hacks LA. So really appreciate you having us on for sure. So I've been all over, actually. LA is the final stop, but I was born in Boston and Brigham Young's women's baby. And I'm a dude. So I always thought that was kind of funny when I grew up and found out that I was born at like the women's hospital, but anyway, they've changed it. But anyway, I've lived like all over the country, like all four corners: Miami, Seattle, San Diego, New York, again, Boston, and ultimately Los Angeles is the best. People may disagree, but not you and not your fans. So
yeah, definitely. You're talking to the right audience here. You don't have to convince us because we all love Los Angeles. Right? That's pretty cool, though, because you've lived in mostly big cities, so you can really compare to Los Angeles. You know, it's different coming from a small town, but you're actually comparing large cities, like you mentioned, Miami, Seattle, Boston.
Oh, yeah. They have to be prerequisites, man. You got to be near the water, and you got to be like a cultural hub. Like, no offense to anyone, but I don't want to live where you don't interact with people who are from all over the world, because that's really how you learn and grow and, you know. So I love to be in cities like that. And that's really where like that artistic, creative vibe also kind of migrates to those cities. So
yeah, definitely. I feel the same way. I love the diversity and I love being in the middle of action. I've actually had friends discuss with me recently about the cost of living in these big cities and how they want to go out in the middle of nowhere. And then I thought about it. And I was like, you know, there's a reason why you pay a lot of money to live here.
Oh, dude, that's what it is. It's like culture tax. And in this case, it's like weather tax, you know?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was telling my brother because he complains a lot about the cost of living here. And I was told him, you know, if it was cheap, the entire country would live here.
I mean, everyone's flocking here, even with the cost so high, right? And that's why everyone's like couch crashing and, you know, sharing the divide living room by the blanket or whatever they do.
Yeah, you make it happen some way, right?
You got to make it happen. It's worth it. It's worth it. You know, I'd rather struggle to live in paradise than be comfortable in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of big cities, so Los Angeles, you've been here for a while, so you're very familiar with this. It's kind of like a bunch of cities within a big city. So what area do you live in right now?
I live in the Valley, which mostly I always have. And it's funny because you grow up on like the East Coast and you hear a lot of things about LA or California. And then there's kind of this stigma, I guess, in the Valley, especially like that whole Valley, which, by the way, I've never really met like that typical Valley girl, which is so funny.
Neither have I.
Right?
Yeah.
They must have all moved away to one of those cheaper places.
Yeah, I think that was maybe it was just a phase that I was going through. I've definitely met, you remember that movie, Clueless?
Oh yeah, dude.
Beverly Hills area? I've kind of seen people like that, but I haven't really met a Valley girl person.
Yeah, exactly. People used to say that I look like Paul Rudd in that movie.
Oh, wow. That's a
I
compliment.
know. Paul Rudd's a good-looking guy. Man,
Yeah.
that's Ant-Man right there.
Yeah, I can't bring you to my house because my wife has a crush on Paul Rudd. So
That's ironic, right? I mean, I don't think I do, especially as I get older. But I used to get Mikey from Swingers and Paul Rudd from that movie. He was gay in that movie, so I used to be like, really?
oh yeah, he was. I didn't even remember that. Yeah.
I have to see it again, but I don't think I look like him. But I did meet
You know
him.
what's interesting about Paul Rudd? He doesn't look that much different. Like I just watched.
No, that guy does not age. That guy does
Yeah.
not age. And I recently got a message on Facebook, actually, and it was from someone I haven't seen in 20 years. And they said the same thing to me. They said, "Do you ever age?" And like, it's an old picture. No.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
That's a great problem. I did meet a little anecdote. I did meet Paul Rudd once, and he's super nice, and very funny. But he said, "Hey, man, I really like you," and I was like, "Really? I've said 2 words to you."
Oh wow! Did
they
you
were
meet
like,
him on?
"Excuse me, you're
Did you meet him at one of the tours? Like, did he go on a tour, or was it something else?
No, I wish. Believe me, I'd be plastering that all over. But he's invited. If he's listening, he's invited.
Yeah, Paul Rudd.
But he said, "I like you because usually I'm the shortest guy in the room," and now you are.
So he's got a good sense of humor too, huh?
He does, yeah. And luckily, I do too. So I wasn't offended.
Yeah. So you mentioned it earlier. Like, I mean, there's so many things to love about Los Angeles. So this might be a bit of a tough question, but you mentioned that you love the weather, of course. But what are some of the other reasons in general that you settled on LA when you've lived in all these other big cities?
It's not a tough question at all because I had lived here for a few years before moving to New York. And that was kind of my last stop before coming back. So I had already lived in all these other cities. And I do like to travel, but at some point, it's like you got to choose where you want to put your roots down. And it was not hard at all. And I'll tell you why, because every other place, in my opinion, of course, every other place in the country, everywhere has pros and cons, right? But everywhere else, you have to really choose between like what kind of life you're going to have based on whether it's the topography or the lay of the land or the weather. Like in Boston, you may love the beach, but you're only going 3 months out of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You may love to ski, but if you're in Miami, you got to fly somewhere else to ski. But Los Angeles, man, you can go skiing and to the beach in the same day. And smack dab in between both is this beautiful cultural city that attracts the most talented people in the world. And the vibe of the city is all brave citizens. That's what I always say, because
Wow.
it takes guts to leave your home. I don't care if you are from the middle of Mississippi or from New York City, but it takes guts to drop everything and travel to a brand new place to, chase your dream, whatever that may be, or your art or your craft, or just relocate anyway. And that type of passionate people, man, that's what makes this city for sure. But the topography is amazing as well. And of course, last but not least, that weather.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything you said, but what really especially talked to me was what you said about the people, because I used to live in Seattle and I had a really good job and I kind of had like a corporate life, but every day was kind of the same,
Yeah.
and it felt very comfortable because everyone was like that. But when
Oh
I
my
came
God.
to LA, everyone is, like you said, passionate. Everyone's got something going on. They've always got a side gig. They're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And I never really thought about it, but I think now that I think about it, what you said about how it takes that kind of guts and passion to even have the bravery to move to another city like Los Angeles. So it attracts a certain type of person.
100%. That's what it is. It's woven into people's character here, and I don't care if you're like successful at what you're doing yet. It's the fact that you're out here trying that shows so much, and all your listeners probably can relate to that. And if they don't see it in themselves yet, go to the mirror right now, because it's there, and that's why you're here, and that's amazing.
Okay, this is a great segue into what we're going to talk about today, which is Sunny Day Scoot, your business, which is a very interesting, unique business. And I've heard about it a lot. I've never actually done it. It's something that I've always wanted to do. It's on my LA bucket list. But before I ask you this question, I actually went on Yelp and a bunch of tourist websites, and you've got perfect 5 stars for Sunny Day Scoot.
Isn't that crazy?
So that's pretty amazing, because there's always someone who complains about something, no matter how perfect a business is. So congratulations on that.
Everyone all the time, huh? But well, thank you. I appreciate that. We're super proud of our Yelp and TripAdvisor reviews, and we're super thankful for anyone who takes that time to go on and talk about their experience and review us, especially for the positive ones. That's amazing. But it's funny that you say that, because we get a lot of people, and like you talked about the cost of living in LA, but it's also really expensive to just visit, right? And we get a lot of people who fly in from all over the world, and they've done this and they've done that. And some of the stuff that's just like, top dollar, like Disney and, like Universal and all these crazy things, especially if you're going up the coast or whatever, which a lot of people from other countries, they get like a long time off, not like we do. I mean, we're getting a time off now, yeah. But it's not for the right reasons. But anyway, so they'll take advantage and they'll go to like Vegas and all up and down the coast. Anyway, we've had people who have had amazing trips that they tell us about. But then after their experience, they say, this is the best thing we've done. And even some of the reviews that you were talking about say that. And that just floors me. It's like amazing,
Yeah, I think part of it is probably because it's so unique. So let's talk about that, because we actually haven't shared with our audience exactly what it is. So can you just give us a general explanation of what Sunny Day Scoot is?
Yeah, it's basically like a fun outdoor activity company where we feature guided driving experiences. So even though they're driving, we have a guide that they're following, so they don't have to really worry about where they're going. They just follow the guides, and it's through the streets of LA. And really the big hook for our company is that it's based around our cute 2-seat mini cars, and people sit side by side next to each other. And we do stop, and they can both drive, trading off. And that's really the hook. Like, people feel like a kid again. It's vibrant. You feel free when you're driving these cars. It's right on the road. It's youthful. And our whole kind of theme, because like there's no roof, they're like little convertibles. And we like to say that we make driving fun again, So it's great for families and dates, and anytime you're looking for something amazing to do or a new adventure, this is what you want to try and do as an activity.
Yeah, and just for the audience out there, if you're not familiar with it, they're like these cartoonish looking cars like you would see at Disneyland. So I think that kind of ties into the magic of it, because especially for visitors, because you're coming to Los Angeles and then you're getting in this one of a kind, unique vehicle that's kind of cartoonish looking, and then you're on a real road, like you said, but then you guys are also taking them to these spots that they would want to see anyway, these amazing LA
right. Yeah, landmarks. So you get to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The real reason that people come out is because they want that driving experience. But yeah, of course, we're going to show them the best places in the area as well. So it really is fun. It's just like our whole thing is to be a kid again. So like you said, they're cartoonish. They feel silly, but in this fun, great, youthful way, They're the car that makes you smile, We call them scoots, so hence the Sunny Day Scoot thing.
Yeah, I don't see anyone taking themselves seriously driving this. Everyone's got a huge smile on their face when
That's
they get in.
What it is, man. We spread the smiles.
and I got to ask you, Michael, I think I get a little bit of this just from your vibe and your energy. Like, you just seem like a really positive, fun person, but
oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
But I got to ask you, like, where did this come from? Because it just seems like it would be very challenging to put together a business like this, to get all the cars, to get all the permits, I'm sure. Like, how did this come about? Like, where did the idea come from?
Businesses are hard, man. Businesses are hard, but I'll tell you, I love to travel, as you can, by what we've talked about already. Like, I love new experiences and I love to travel. And there was this one, I mean, I have some business partners, and we were traveling once, and we went in Mexico. We went like cave diving sort of thing, not in the most like advanced way as it's sounding, believe me.
You're not like an expert or anything, right?
This isn't Point Break.
You sound like a spy right now. Like, oh, cave diving in Mexico, and
then we had to get into the bank in the vault. But so yeah, it wasn't nearly as adventurous, but I felt very adventurous. I still got some pictures to show. But anyway, so we're on there, and these people, I'm super afraid of heights. And so it was this combo gig where you like go up and you are in these trees doing zip lining, and then you zip line into these caves and kind of go like in the pitch black into these caves, which I loved. But anyway, I highly recommend it. Everyone go to Mexico. No. But anyway, the point is, these people, they're like strapping you in and with safety harnesses and everything for you. And at one point I realized that like, this is this once in a lifetime amazing experience for me. But this guy did this yesterday, and he's going to do this tomorrow, and he's getting paid to do this. This is his job. Yeah. Imagine that, right? And like, we went like swimming with manatees and dolphins and a lot of different stuff in that trip. But it's like someone works there, and like rarely do you kind of take a step outside while you're in your experience to realize that. And I thought, this is just the perfect job, man. Giving people fun and meeting people from all over the world. And I want to do this. And this was actually, I had just recently seen that movie Heartbreak Kid with Ben Stiller, and he gets that same vibe. He goes down for his own honeymoon or whatever, and then he's like, oh, I want to just give up everything and run a surf shop on the beach.
Oh, I remember that movie. Yeah,
right?
It was really funny, but I don't remember the whole plot or whatever. But yeah, that was a good movie.
It was a good movie, and that was like the shtick. So at the end, he's just like gave up, kind of like you were talking about. He gave up his corporate job, and he's like just living this cool life and flip-flops and like renting surfboards to people. And it was kind of this like, that was subtly obviously in the back of my head, and I thought, that's just the perfect job. If I can survive making people have an amazing time, what's better than that? You know what I mean? And that's what I do now. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. And so, I mean, that was your inspiration, but you just went out and had these cars designed. Was there already an existing business that you bought, or you came up with the whole concept?
It was our brainchild from the get-go. I mean,
wow, that's amazing.
It was a process, I mean, they're custom-made vehicles, and it's about, it's also like, the thing that's interesting about what we do is LA, of all the places I lived, everyone likes to complain about traffic, right? No matter where you visit or you talk to people, and I'm sure even maybe you've interviewed people from other places, and they're like, oh, but the traffic.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, LA traffic, that's like, you look up traffic in like the dictionary, and it's like, don't go to LA if you're looking to avoid this. And like, so that kind of sounded like Mickey Mouse. Huh? Oh, don't go to LA if you you'll never get to Disneyland. But anyway, so like, people do not associate having fun with driving in LA, and we're just like flipping that on its head. And it really, the juxtaposition of it all, I think that's really what makes people love the experience, especially because a lot of them, they drive to our meeting locations. Yeah. So they like fight traffic and get out of their car, and maybe they're like, harumph, harumph, harumph. But then they get in the ease, and it's just a whole different vibe and a whole different thing. And it really, it turns it on its head. So I think we picked the perfect place. And I wanted to do it where you could do it year round as well.
Oh, so, yeah. And the weather helps you do that.
Oh my God, yeah. Definitely. I mean, I think we got rained out maybe 8 days last year, maybe.
But California is like notoriously hard to get like licensing and stuff. So you didn't have any problems having these tiny little mini cars driving on the road. They didn't look at you
Oh,
like you're
I mean,
crazy.
everything is an uphill battle,
Yeah, I can imagine.
but that's just with business. And like you said, it's kind of LA and California. Um, there's a lot you have to do on the side of like, um, the paperwork side of things. The as much as possible, I like to deal with guests one-on-one because that's why I got involved in it. But of course, there's this other side to it that it's like, oh my God. So you navigate that, but to be honest, it's like even officials, when they see our vehicles, they just want to help us out. They just want it to survive and be a success, and they want to take themselves and their friends and their family on it. Even cops, they like love us on the road, and which I totally appreciate, because that, my friend, is a hard job.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because I haven't experienced it myself, but I used to live in Burbank. So I would see them every once in a while and it just
Mm.
puts a smile on your face. I would honk and wave at them,
Oh, the
you know.
scoots.
Yeah. The cars,
Yeah, the mini cars.
yeah, the mini cars. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, it's like people want to contribute to something that's so positive and brings so much joy to people.
That's what it is, man. And that's the best part of doing it, because you can do anything. You can do anything you set your mind out to. It's not going to be easy, and might not happen right away. And it might
Yeah.
not look like you expected it when you first started. But with effort comes reward. But what I like about specifically doing this is it's so positive, and like you said, that's really what I personally am all about. Like, I just want people to have a good time. I want to have a good time. Life's hard enough, you know what I mean? So like, it's all about spreading the joy, and this business is kind of like, for me, it really is in line with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, if you can find something you're super passionate about, especially if you're the one who created it, that's pretty amazing. So congratulations on that.
I appreciate that. Well, me and my business partners, but yeah, no, it really is. It's like you said, because you can be passionate about your job. Even most people aren't their own boss, or the creators, and most people's names aren't on the building they go into, right?
Yeah.
But it is this added bonus for us to like know that we've created it. It really is cool. It's fun.
Okay, so we talked a lot about the cars themselves, the novelty and the fun of those, but another big bonus of taking one of your tours is the tour itself. So can you talk to us about what people can expect, like what they can expect to see on these tours?
Yeah, there's basically two main options that we have, because they are all guided experiences. So we don't want people running amok and getting lost and any of that stuff, and they just feel better, and it's just safer all being guided. So we have two major options: rides, which are shorter experiences, and tours that are longer experiences. And the main two differences are the time and the type of experience you want. So our rides, which are about an hour, that is where you're in the mini car the entire time. So it's really a driving experience. So for people who just want to get in and drive, that's amazing. And though we stop so that people can switch who's driving, because they are two-seat vehicles, it really is just an hour driving experience to really get that adventure of it. And that's really the activity aspect, which is why it's super popular for like locals as well as tourists. And then the tours are longer experience, and they are from 2.5 to 3 hour experiences. There's more driving in those, but the biggest difference is that you actually get out at some of the stops and explore and get information, and they're a more interactive experience because of that. And that's the main two differences there.
And I know that you're near Griffith Park. So what are some of the stops that they can expect on the tour? Or is that something you want to keep as a surprise?
No, I mean, it's always a surprise. Dun, dun, dun. Fun around every corner, I like to say.
Yeah.
uh, but I'll give you a little tidbit. It's because all of our activities, they do offer different options, but among some of the popular sites that you see are the Greek Theater, the Griffith Observatory, Hollywood Sign, the LA Zoo. We go by some movie studios that include Disney Animation Studios, Warner Brothers, where Ellen Studio films. We see some movie locations. So yeah, people love our activity because of the driving, and it really brings out that kind of youth and fun side. But they of course get to see these famous LA sites as well. So that's a great bonus.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool about that area. Like I said, I used to live in Burbank, and I'm very familiar with like Griffith Park, and there's so much there. You just mentioned some of them: Greek Theater, the Observatory, one of my favorite places in all of Los Angeles, the old LA Zoo. Just driving through Griffith Park itself is amazing.
Yeah. All of our experiences go through the park because some people just like to be driving in more of that peaceful nature environment. So it's a really great opportunity that the park offers,
Yeah. So we're LA hackers here. We're always looking for interesting, fun things to do like this. And I know that you get a lot of tourists, but for Angelinos, the people who are looking for something fun to do, what are some of the special events that people have here? Like are they mostly birthday parties, or what type of events?
Well, the most popular occasions that people come out and celebrate are, of course, our birthdays and anniversaries, because people are always looking for a new fun way to treat someone special in their life. So this is so unique, and even though we're getting the word out, it's usually a surprise to like the person they're bringing out, which is awesome to see when they pull up, and they'll, what are we doing? This is awesome, But,
I'm not single anymore, but if I was, I think this would make a great date, because when I was single, I was always looking for something that was fun to do, so there was no pressure. And this seems like it would be amazing because, first of all, it's super unique.
Yeah.
And you're going to surprise the hell out of whoever you take.
That's right. Even your significant other would love it. It's like, don't just say because I'm not single anymore, because you got to still date the person you're with.
That's true. All right.
Right? And they're going to thank me for saying it.
Hey, I'm just giving a little tip out there for my single brothers out there. That's, hey, this is a great first date idea,
Yeah, because we've had everything from first dates all the way up to proposals happen on our experience. And that is amazing because we love to be part of something so memorable for people.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine you take your date up, or your fiance up to the scooter up to Griffith Park, and you have a picnic laid out there?
That's what it is. We do that for the sunrise tours.
What are we talking about here, Michael? She's going to marry you, right? She has to say yes.
This is like Hitch.
We're doing dating hacks too.
That's right, exactly. Dating in LA hacks. She has to say yes because the guides are there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about you had mentioned how it's tough to have a business in California, and I know that personally, but it's especially tough now because of what's going on with COVID. And I know you guys are doing a great job with that, with the precautions and so forth. Can you just talk a little bit about how COVID's affected your business and what you guys are doing to respond to that?
Yeah, it's ironic. It's been a dramatic few months for everybody, and we are definitely no exception to that. But we are lucky because we have recently been able to open back up after closing in March because of the government, COVID guidelines. So we're super excited to be able to do so because we're an outdoor activity, and that is like a game changer because we have this unique experience when it comes to safety measures of social distancing, because people are in their own 2-seat mini cars and they're sharing them with the person that they came with already.
Yeah.
So they're really not interacting with other people, and also being in separate mini cars, it has well more than that 6-foot social distancing rule kind of automatically built in. So the protection is really kind of this automatic thing for us, which is amazing. And of course, like you said, beyond that, we've implemented online waivers so that guests aren't handling the physical paperwork, and we've increased sanitation standards, of course. We have sanitizer for all guests. All of our guides wear masks. So, I like to say that we take safety standards very serious, but that's what allows us to continue to give this people this amazing fun experience. So it really does help that we're that outdoor activity. I like to say that we're COVID friendly.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense. I mean, that's what they're pushing for. Restaurants right now are only the ones that have a patio or can serve you outdoors are the ones that are open right now as the time of this conversation. But your business really is fit for that. I guess the only thing you'd have to do is just make sure the cars are clean, and when you get out, people keep distance, and then you guys are good. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Yeah, it's unique that way. And it's also an interesting time because we are really an activity. It's just a thing to do. A lot of times when people hear tours, locals are like, like you said, I know the area. But it's more than that. It's something to do that's super unique and fun. And now there's not much open, unfortunately. There's just not a lot open for you to go and experience. And a lot of people are getting, you know, a little antsy or, you know, I guess sad.
yeah.
And, but we're really welcoming people to come out and get out of the house and do something fun because you can with us. And it's not just about finding a patio. Let's get out and have a great experience with us.
Yeah, it's a really good idea because most people are just going to the park or going to the beach, but this is going to be going on for months and months. So
Yeah,
this is a
that's what
really fun
people.
activity.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's really going to change even when things start to open up. Things are going to be different. So we're very lucky with the type of experience that we offer.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to ask you about. So you've pretty much done these tours for a while, and you've done them in this area that I love, Griffith Park and the observatory near the Hollywood sign.
Yep.
So, being that you're there like every day, is there any hacks or tips or tricks that you've picked up about any of those places, Griffith Park Observatory, the Hollywood sign, that
Oh
you can
yeah,
share with us?
absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm getting out my notebook.
I know. Get your hacking list out. Dun, 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 dun.
My favorite part.
Here we go again.
All right, let's hear it,
so,
Michael.
so a great tip for the observatory is that it's well worth going up there. I'm sure you know this already, but maybe your listeners don't. That it's well worth going up there even when the observatory is not open because it's still beautiful. You have access to the grounds, and it's a lot less crowded, especially the parking lot up there. So don't feel like it's not worth going if you're not going to go inside the observatory. Sometimes I feel like going inside the observatory is its own day, and then going up to the observatory just to have the views and walk the grounds, that is its own day too. So that's one thing to remember. And they
That's a
also
great point. Yeah.
yeah, they don't charge for parking when the observatory itself is not open. So usually that's before noontime. Um, and, because now they've started charging for parking, which they never used to. So it's nice to be able to go up when they're not charging. So Mondays, they're usually closed. Um, and right now, because of COVID, they're just closed.
Do you know if
So
it's still lit up even though it's closed? Like,
it is, yeah, yep.
okay, wow.
So
So yeah, that's awesome. Then you can go up there and uh, when it's all lit up like that at night, it's so beautiful.
it's beautiful, yeah, and because they welcome people up there, but I do want to let everyone know that the observatory itself is closed right now. But that to me that makes it a great time to be there. It's a great spot to hike from and see the Hollywood sign itself and get views of downtown and Hollywood. It's really this. If you haven't been there, it's this amazing Art Deco building that I just love. It's timeless to me. And another hack to remember about it is the most beautiful times for views are early in the morning, like at the sunrise. We do that sunrise tour that comes with breakfast and whatnot, but that's when you see the sun rising and see the Hollywood sign lit up like that, and that's beautiful. And also at dusk when the sun's going down, it's just those are the best real view times, I feel like.
Yeah, nothing like it. I feel like that's one of the handful of places that really just scream Los Angeles. Sunset
Oh yeah.
at Griffith Park Observatory.
That's it, man. And it's been in like so many movies. And my favorite is when they did a cartoon version in the Chipmunks Squeakquel movie, which I'm embarrassed to say I saw.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm be a kid again. I take that to heart. If it's not Scooby-Doo, baby, it's
Yeah, it's good you're near Disneyland. I noticed one on your website. So is one of your stops at the Disney Studios or one of the places that Walt Disney?
So we have a tour that kind of focuses on some of the areas that Disney used to frequent himself, and some of the places that inspired him to create the park and the company. And also, of course, we go by the studios as well, the Disney Animation Studios. So that imagination tour for like Disney fans is really cool if you're interested in history about Walt Disney as well. So that's that. I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, definitely. For people who don't know, so like Walt Disney was super inspired by the Burbank Griffith Park area. I mean, he's got Walt's Barn over there. I read somewhere that the original merry-go-round that they had in Griffith Park helped inspire.
It was one of the first things in the park. The two first things were the merry-go-round and the trains, because he was a super big train enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
He like had one of those pocket trains where you like you look like King Kong when you're sitting on them. It's that type of train, you know. But it's not like one of those tiny trains that's on the table. It's like
He had that ride.
Yeah, you ride it, and he had one of those that he built in Carroll Gardens, his backyard. That's like next to Beverly Hills where he lived. And so that's why he called his animators Imagineers, because it's kind of a play on the engineer thing from the train aspect. So yeah, and the merry-go-round, that's what really gave him his idea, because he used to just sit there and watch his girls, ride the merry-go-round. And he loved being with his kids, and they were like his pride and joy, but he always would be like kind of bored,
Yeah.
And so he felt like, wouldn't it be amazing if there was a place where adults could go and be part of the experience with kids, and not just kind of like be at the merry-go-round and like watch them have fun, or be at the playground and watch them play. And that's what originally inspired him to build the park of Disneyland. And he was like, yeah, this is the park. This is where adults can bring their kids and be part of the experience. So it's really cool to like be on that. That's the merry-go-round that inspired that. So
yeah, it's cool to be in that area where a lot of his influences, just because he inspires me a lot, just because of when I think of like the power of imagination, like thinking of something and then making it a reality, I think of him, because what he was able to pull out of his imagination is just crazy,
Especially at the time that he was doing it. He was such a forward thinker. Like, I've watched a lot of those documentaries on him now that Disney Plus has come out or whatever. And it's just really amazing in the 50s and, all through the 60s that he was constantly pushing people. Like you said, he would say, I don't care how much it costs. If you can imagine it, we can build it. And it's just like, wow, to have someone who's saying there is just no limit here. Let's just try it. If you can think it, let's try it. That's amazing,
Yeah, and going back to what you said earlier about finding something that you love to do that makes other people happy, what better example of it than that? I mean, Disneyland.
That's right.
I mean, how many millions of people a day? And I'm just talking about the parks. I'm not even talking about all the other stuff. I mean,
oh my God, I know.
Just the parks,
That's right. It really is inspirational,
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I also wanted to tell people another hack about the Hollywood sign, because there's a few great tips that I can give your listeners.
Okay, awesome. Let's hear it.
So, like, if you want to invest the time and effort to actually go see to the sign as close as you can, there's a few ways to hike it that are cool. One starts from the observatory parking lot itself. And so that's about 3 miles long. So a 6-mile round trip, and it's along the top of Mount Lee where the sign is. And then the other one is called the Wisdom Tree Trail. Have you ever gone up to the Wisdom Tree?
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's might be my favorite spot in LA. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a tough hike, but
I was going to say, so that hike, it's half the distance. So it's like about a mile and a half from there to the to the sign itself. But that first part of that hike is more an intense climb. So that's definitely to keep in mind. But if you just want to see the sign and you have no interest or time to actually hike, then my tip is to go to Lake Hollywood Drive. So there's this great dog park that sits pretty much under the sign, and they allow you there if you don't have a dog. I know everyone in LA has a dog, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And everyone at that park lets their dog off the leash. At least they used to. I don't know if they still do, but when I first went there, I was like, is this an off-leash dog park? But now everyone's just kind of doing their thing.
Yeah, everyone's just like, no, we love our dogs. That's our dogs run this park. When they say dog park, that's what it means. Dogs bring their owners.
But yeah, that's about as close as you can get.
That's what it is.
For a good picture without having to hike, definitely.
Yeah. And then if you keep driving up past that dog park, there's this great clearing, and they have this great stone that you can stand on. And actually, anytime you've seen pictures of people kind of pretending to hold the Hollywood sign, it's probably been from that clearing. So yeah, just like you said, if you don't want to hike, that's the best place to drive and see it. So
yeah, those are some awesome tips, Michael.
And I want to mention for the locals who are listening, I did not tell them to go through your neighborhood. See that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of problems with that.
Exactly. So
I know for a while they closed down some of the paths, and then they opened them back up again, and so it's a constant battle. But as long as people are respectful, I think the problem is there's always a handful of people who make a lot of noise or litter or whatever. But
yeah.
Okay, so we've been talking about Sunny Day Scoop, but let's get back to you, because I'm always excited to talk to someone who loves Los Angeles as much as I do. I wanted to ask you if you could describe for us your perfect dream day in LA, from getting up to going to bed. What would happen, and where would you go to make it the perfect day in LA for you?
Well, like I said, I've always wanted to do the whole skiing in the morning, beach later in the day thing, because this area is one of the rare places you can do that, but I have yet to do it. So I'll have to let you know when that happens. And I think
I've yet to meet anyone who's done it. I've heard people say that, but
this is something that
I've got a challenge, open challenge. If anyone has done it,
we should all just do it.
I'm going to give you $100, and Michael's going to give you a free scooter ride.
That's right. We'll just make a trip out of it. All the people, right? You've heard it here. All the people who want to do this, start some Facebook group.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do it too. Even though I'm not a big surfer or a big skier, I just want to prove it can be done. Because I hear it all the time. But like I said, I haven't heard anyone who's actually done it. I'm sure there are people who have, but I haven't met anybody.
But not in your group, right? Not in your circle.
Not in my circle.
Yeah, I don't surf at all, and I hardly swim at all. I sink very well. So I would go to the beach, but I try and avoid that undertow. Let me tell you, I have had some close calls in my day. So I'm better on skis. Not that that's saying much, but I don't.
So you're out in the valley. What beach would you go to?
So that's actually part of my day. Actually, my perfect day. Let me just tell you what I would do, because the beach is on that list.
You better get up early, Michael.
That's what I have to do. Yeah. I mean, first I'd wake up early and I would go to the Griddle Cafe. Have you been to the Griddle?
I've heard of it. I don't recall that I've been there.
Oh, my world just shattered. And your world.
Is that in Van Nuys?
No. It's in Hollywood. Just because I live here doesn't mean I don't travel over to the other side.
Yeah, I've heard the name, but I might have, but I just don't recall. I've been to so many.
It's right there on Sunset and Fairfax. It's right under that. I don't know if you know the house that they use for Iron Man's house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
so it's right there.
It's right there, because Fairfax, you look up to Iron Man's house.
Yeah, and I don't think I've eaten there.
I haven't eaten at Iron Man's house, but
no, not Iron Man's house. The Griddle Cafe. So do they just have an amazing breakfast, or what?
Everything is amazing. People go there because their pancakes are the size of two of your heads, and it's amazing. And they have a ton of them. So that's pretty much what they're famous. That's why they're called the Griddle, because they make the pancakes on the griddle. But their other food is amazing as well. It's all huge. It's very American.
That's definitely American.
It's very American. I have a huge appetite, so I am always. I usually like get pancakes and then this Sicilian chicken sandwich thing. I can't eat them all, so don't judge. But
Hey,
I'm
that's
one of
what
those
doggy
guys.
bags are for.
That's right. I want to taste these different things. But anyway, so I would start my day, and you got to go early because there's a line all the time. But it is worth the wait if you don't go early, and they're only open during the day. So I think they close at 3. But so you got to get up early. So I would do that.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of their pancakes right now. They're the size of my head. I mean, they're just humongous.
They're huge. They're huge. You eat for a week with pancakes. I'm currently on a healthy program, so I haven't had the grill. I mean, I'm sure they're closed right now too, but I haven't had the grill in months, I'm proud to say. But I can't wait to go back.
Okay, this is your dream day. It has no calories, but you get
That's exactly right.
All right. So after the Griddle Cafe, where are you headed?
After the Griddle Cafe, then I'm going to go to my favorite spot, which is the Wisdom Trail, Wisdom Tree hike. Go up there because of the amazing views. And you know, I suggest it. I like to tell you, I practice what I preach. A lot of people like going up Runyon Canyon, especially if you're at the Griddle already, and people would be like, you're at the Griddle and Runyon Canyon's amazing, so why wouldn't you just do that? But I'm telling you, I prefer the Wisdom Tree because even though you can possibly run into stars hiking at Runyon, I prefer the Wisdom Tree because it's way more nature. It's like actually on the mountain versus Runyon, which is like paved. No offense against Runyon. Everyone's going to be like, Runyon is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think Runyon's a great spot because of the convenience and everything, and it's right there, and it's beautiful. But yeah, it can get pretty overrun there.
That's what it is. If you are looking for more nature and less crowds, go to the Wisdom. I recommend them both, but the Wisdom Tree is less crowded and more natural. So that's what I'm looking for when I hike. So I go there, and then after that, I'm off onto the motorcycle, which I learned when I moved to LA, which is crazy because I did not know how to ride a bike until I was 20.
Wow.
I'm talking a bicycle.
You graduated to a motorcycle once you hit LA, huh?
Oh my God. It was like, it's a different world, man. I mean, you got to be careful. Don't get me wrong. And the most annoying part about riding a motorcycle, and those of you who do can relate to this, is every time I put my helmet on before I throw my leg over, everyone's like, oh, wait, before you get on the motorcycle, I just want to let you know, be careful, because I know someone who got seriously maimed on a motorcycle. And it's like, oh my God.
Not what you want to hear when you're about to go and hit the 405,
it's the timing of it. I empathize. I think that's horrible. And I hate to hear tragedy. I mean, I'll support you through it. Don't get me wrong. I don't run from it, but this is the worst time to tell me that. What am I supposed to do right now? Leave it here?
Well, now I know how you're getting from the valley to the beach. So you're
exactly
splitting lanes on the freeway.
That's right. It's legal here, baby. I don't like when people beep at me, and then I'm always like, it's legal. You don't know it's legal?
Yeah, it's legal here. So
it's legal here. So I'll take my motorcycle out to Malibu because I would rather go north where there's usually no traffic, for me anyway, to get up to Malibu and through the canyon roads there. It's amazing and beautiful. And that's like where they filmed the opening scene for MASH. I don't know if I'm dating myself.
I know MASH.
It's a good idea. Very eligible bachelor, dating yourself.
Yeah, MASH in Malibu, they have Malibu Creek State Park. They still have some of the relics left from the show.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
I love LA, man. I love that.
What's that?
I love LA. I mean,
yeah,
I love
it's just so many interesting things, you know.
Yeah, just leave that. And I love movies, and I'm sure I'm not the only one of your listeners that loves movies, and I just love that stuff. I love walking around where shows you liked, you know, film.
Yeah, I think you almost have to love movies if you live in Los Angeles. Like the first few years I got here, I spent every time I watched a television show or movie, I was more excited to see the backdrop, the LA backdrops that I recognized than I was about the movie.
I'm the same way, dude. I'm the same way.
I was like, that's 3rd and Fairfax. I know exactly where that's at.
Right now, and just sit there and be like, yeah.
I was there last week.
Totally. I'm so like that, dude. That's why. And it's like, it's so funny that you say that because I've always loved movies, you know, and like I'm not in the industry, obviously, unless anyone has a gig they want to offer me, because I am pretty funny. But anyway, but I'm not in the industry, but I've always loved movies, and like it's so funny now to see movies, because when I was younger, I just didn't realize the birth of movies, the wealth of movies that are actually set in LA. Never mind filmed here, but like set here. And it's like so cool now to be like, oh yeah, that's based in LA, and that's based in LA, and I want to go there, and I want to see that. And
Yeah, it definitely adds to the magic of living here.
that's exactly right. I love that, man. Love that. So I would go up to Malibu, and I would go to the beaches in Malibu, or like so much more that like California coast than the ones like Venice is so much more. And even south, like Manhattan Beach, and those beaches are like way more beaches. Like they remind me of Florida beaches, which is cool. But if you're looking for like California coastline beaches, Malibu is where it's at. It's got those rocky cliffs and everything. It's so cool. And driving on the PCH, the Pacific Coast Highway, is amazing. I recommend it on a motorcycle, but a car works as well. And my favorite beach out there is El Matador. El Matador Beach.
Beauty.
Have you been out there?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's beautiful. You know, El Matador is one of those beaches where everyone says, "I've got a secret beach for you," and then it's El Matador. So the secret's out now.
It's everyone's secret. It's not so secret anymore. I got a secret for you.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, but you know, I feel like not a ton of people still go there just because it's so far. You know, so like you really have to commit to going there.
It's only on like the real beach days where everyone's like, you're crazy not to be at the beach. Then El Matador is crowded just like any other, which it used to not be. So
it used to not be, yeah.
Yeah, not at all. But like El Matador Beach is like, that's where a lot of people go for like wedding photos, and a lot of people go for headshots. It's just really, really beautiful to me. And it's got a hell of a undertow. So I won't go in the water there. But if you're a great swimmer, you know, swim at your own risk. But
yeah, El Matador is more like pretty to look at. It's got these little caves and cliffs and stuff, perfect Instagram photo of what you think a California beach should look like.
Yeah, totally. It kind of reminds me. Have you ever been down to Newport and the pier there? It kind of overlooks this little beach, and that beach in Newport was actually where they filmed the first season of Gilligan's Island.
Oh wow.
So
I love Newport. Newport's another Malibu type where it's just like you feel like you're on an exotic vacation when you go there.
Love it, man. Love it from one end to the other. I've done that. I've done beach day where you go down to Newport and then up to Venice and then up to Malibu, all these different beaches. And that's a cool day. You know, that's a cool day. All the different type of experiences that you get with different beaches. That's an investment, but I never fail to invest in myself.
Yeah.
So then on my way back from Malibu, I'm going to hit my favorite sushi spot in the world. And I've been all over. And it is Midori Sushi in Sherman Oaks on Ventura. Okay. Oh my God, Midori.
I have to write that one down. I haven't been there. I thought you were going to say Nobu because we're in Malibu.
I know, everyone. Yeah, I know. But I'll tell you, man. Well, first of all, like I said, I have an appetite. So I'm working my butt off right now. But
Can you say it one more time? What was the name of it?
Midori.
Okay.
Yeah, like that green liquor, even though I've never seen that green liquor there.
So is it super popular, or is it kind of like an underground?
No, they have like 3 or 4 locations there in Ventura. If you guys, I'm sure your listeners know, but if you don't know, Ventura is like where all the sushi places.
Yeah, it's crazy how many sushi restaurants are there.
Ridiculous. It's like I don't know, if I was like a sushi owner, I would be like, where is the least amount of competition? Not where is the most. I'm gonna go right between this sushi place and that sushi place.
Yeah.
Midori, they do an all-you-can-eat, and it's like made to order. And I know that's big here anyway, but theirs is the best. And my secret there is to order the Midori roll, which is no longer on the menu, and they might be upset with me for saying that. Because I'm like the only one I've ever heard order it for like 5 years. But it's amazing.
Oh, they'll bring it out to you, huh? No fuss?
Oh, yeah. All of the guys know that. Oh, yeah.
That's probably just because you go there so often. They're going to look at me and be like, who the hell are you? We don't carry that.
You can't order Mike's order. Are you Mike in disguise?
I'll be like, Mike told me to ask for that.
Exactly. And they'll be like, son of a.
Okay, so you finish off the evening with some sushi, and then you're going to head home?
Nope.
Call it a night?
The sushi is an early evening thing.
Oh
this
my
is
God.
the dream day. Then I'm gonna go.
You're definitely taking advantage of living in Los Angeles.
That's right. Yeah, let's do it all. Check it all out. I'm gonna go to like the UCB Theater, Second City, or something like that, and see some like cool, fun, unique, engaging show with some up and comers. I was there at the UCB Theater, and I saw that guy Paul Rust, who was in that Netflix show Love. He's really funny. But if you haven't seen that Netflix show Love, not to be confused with the movie Love, which I haven't seen, it's on there, but I recommend that. But anyway, Paul Rust was one of the writers, and I've seen him there at the UCB Theater performing too. So it's just a cool place to see like talented people, and I just like live performance. I love supporting, live performance. So I would definitely do that. And then because I'm a sucker for something sweet, this is how I end my night. I'm going to go and get some cheesecake. Again, nice. When I'm not on such a regimented thing.
Hey, remember, it's dream day, no calories.
That's right. Oh, so I don't have to give that disclaimer anymore. So I'm going to either go by House of Pie, which is great. That's right, like near Griffith Park there. And then, or I'm going to go into the valley because I'm on my way home anyway. And I'm going to go to Aroma Coffee and Tea Leaf. Have you ever been to Aroma?
I love Aroma.
Oh, Aroma, man.
I haven't been to the other two that you mentioned, but I've been to Aroma.
Oh, yeah, House of Pie. That's a cool place. But it's more like a diner, but they have good pie. But nothing beats Aroma. That outdoor patio is so relaxing. It really takes you into this other world. Aroma is like one of those things, like anytime someone's visiting, I'll bring them over there. And I don't drink coffee, but if I did, I would think there's like no better place to sit and enjoy.
I can attest to that. I'm a big coffee drinker, and it's an amazing place to have a nice big cup of coffee on that patio.
Oh, yeah. Even inside is so unique and cool. It feels like where Thoreau would write. It's just
it's amazing.
And that is my perfect day.
Well, you think you fit in enough there, Michael?
Well, the only thing that would make it better is throwing in a ride at Sunny Day Scoot.
I got to tell you, I ask all my guests that question, and that is the most LA answer I've ever gotten. I mean, you fit in motorcycle riding, you fit in sushi, you fit in theater. You fit in
like a caricature of someone who lives in LA.
PCH. No, it's amazing because it's all things I love too. But you're very ambitious because you fit all in hiking to Wisdom Tree.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
I can multitask.
All right, thanks so much, Michael. Those are amazing tips. Is there anything that you want to share about Sunny Day Scoot that I didn't ask you that we didn't already talk about?
I mean, it's like you talked about earlier. It really is just this fun experience, and it's still new in LA. And if you haven't tried it, you just got to come out and experience it because it's just so fun and positive. And especially nowadays, this is what this is. I didn't see this coming. Don't get me wrong. But times like these, this is when you need a reason to smile more than any other. So I highly recommend it for sure. Check out the website. It's joy2ride.com with the number 2, joy2ride.com. And that is where you can see all the options in our online calendar, and you can book right there. And yeah.
Okay, awesome. I will put the link in the show notes as well so people can find that. Michael, it's been a pleasure and a lot of fun. I haven't laughed this much in a while, and I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Thanks, Stefan. I really appreciate it as well. Thank you. I've had a great time.
All right, take care, Michael.
You as well.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you enjoyed that interview with Michael from Sunny Day Scoot. As you heard in our conversation, he loves to laugh. He loves to make people happy, and he's found a way to do that every day with the amazing tourism business he's created, and it's rated as one of the best tours you can take in all of Los Angeles. If you want to find out more about Sunny Day Scoot or even book a tour, You can find them at sunnydayscoot.com or on their Instagram at sunnydayscoot. All right, guys, so on to my hack. One of my favorite things to do is to play tourist in my own town. Every once in a while, I like to get out and hit up some classic tourist spots in Los Angeles. I think it really helps motivate you to continue to appreciate and learn more about this amazing city we live in. And my tip is, if you want to play tourist in your own town, is to definitely break it up by neighborhood. You don't want to spread yourself too thin by driving all over town in one day, especially since you already live here and you can do these mini tours like once a month or once every other month. For example, if you wanted to see the sights in Mid-City, a heavy tourist area, you would stay there all day and try to see as many cool places as you can. And that really would take you all day, if not 2 days. I mean, in Mid-City, you can see the LACMA, the Page Museum, the Peterson Auto Museum, CBS Studios, the Grove, Fairfax, the Melrose District, and so much more, and it's all just a few blocks apart. So that's my in-town tourist hack for you. Go once a month or every other month and see as many sites as you can see, but try to do it all in one area. All right, LA Hackers, if you enjoyed this episode, would truly appreciate if you could either subscribe or give us a positive review. It really helps us out. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week for another Life Hacks LA episode. Take care.